This video is all about how to be single and happy, because despite what society tells you, it is possible to be both. I think one concept that I've struggled with growing up is the idea that I have to be with somebody and you have to get married and you have to have a child. And although I tried to follow that set path, I have discovered over time that actually I need to be single and I need to know myself better. And the thing that I've discovered over the last 3 years of being single is that actually I didn't know myself. I hadn't understood who I really was, and I've gone on this journey and really found happiness by doing so. And when I see other people, I often think, I often get comments about, oh, you'll meet someone soon, you'll find someone, you'll settle down, and I'm like, actually I'm settled, I'm okay, like I'm happy being me and I'm happy being on my own and I'm happy doing the things that I'm doing, and I shouldn't feel like I need to have a partner to be happy. I can be happy on my own, and that's the journey that I've kind of been on, and I wanted to share how I found happiness whilst being single. So the first thing that I've done is I've got to know myself. I've thought about all the things that I like doing and I've just gone out and done them. And I've not had to worry about whether I'm pleasing anybody else. I'm just doing me and I'm doing the things that make me happy. And through doing that, I've just felt really content in myself. So lots of the things that I like doing is I like taking photographs, I like photography, I like going out on walks, I like playing badminton, so that's been hard not being able to do that for the last year. I like spending time with friends, spending time with family. I like doing lots of different things and being active. And sometimes when you are in a relationship, you sacrifice a lot. And I feel like in my past relationships, I've definitely sacrificed more than I should have. And I think if I were to go into a relationship now, I would definitely take it in a different light, and I would stay a lot more true to myself, purely because of the fact that I've got to know myself over these last few years, and that means that I'm in a stronger position going into a relationship. But I'm also quite content not being in a relationship. I'm quite happy with the things that I'm doing in my life, and I'm also okay with not meeting somebody, which sounds a very strange concept to a lot of people, but it's okay to be single. Like, there's a large proportion of people in the world that don't get married, don't have children, and don't have long-term relationships all the way through, and I'm quite open to that being the case for me. If I meet someone, then yes, I will take it as it comes, but I'm also okay with not meeting somebody as well, and I feel like that's a good position to be in. Another way to reduce your anxiety and to increase your happiness is to reduce your social media usage or use it in a different way. So that's something that I've really focused on. I think social media is a very easy tool to be able to compare yourself with other people and to think that you need to be in a certain way or do certain things like everyone else is doing, but actually you need to not be comparing yourself to others. You can use social media, but think about how you're using it. And if that is too hard, then reduce your usage completely. I find that I use certain social media for different things. So I will use Instagram, for example, for following other teachers, people that review books or authors. So I use it in a very different way to just being a way of following lots of lovely looking people living lots of lovely lives. With my Facebook, for example, I use that very much as a way of just keeping in contact with people that are close to me. So I have a very limited number of people on my Facebook, and it's only people that I will interact with and talk to on a regular basis. And I think that's probably the best way to use it. My next point is don't hate the player, hate the game. I think it's very easy to get frustrated in being single because society puts that pressure, and like you have to be in a relationship to be happy, and everybody else puts that pressure on you as well, that you end up feeling quite resentful that you're not in the same place as other people. But it's not the other people trying to make you feel bad, it's actually the way society portrays relationships as superior to being on your own. And that's the kind of mindset you need to get around. So it's okay to not fit the mould. It's okay to think outside the box and not be in a relationship. You don't need a partner to be superior to anybody else. But it is one that I've struggled with over years. I find that people that are in a relationship, or particularly when they get married, they can sometimes change their behaviours and they have a different attitude towards people that are single. And often you don't get invited to meals, you don't get invited to events because people like to do things with other couples. And then you do get excluded in certain ways. And that is a mindset shift that I've had to really focus on. The best way that I have moved forward in that one is to make things happen for me. So if I want to go out and have meals with friends and things, I organise them, I make these things happen. And I don't let other people excluding me stop that. I show that I want to go to these places. I voice my opinions to friends, and I will say that I want to participate or want to join them. And quite often they will happily let me join these things. They're not necessarily doing it on purpose. They're not trying to exclude you. It's just a natural kind of thing that they gravitate towards other couples. And you just kind of have to break the mould a little bit and voice how you're feeling to your friends, and they will be much more mindful moving forward. And if you truly want to be single and happy, I highly suggest you delete all of the dating apps. I've been on them on and off over the years, but I can safely say I've not been on them for a good while now, and I do find that when I'm on the dating apps, I find it quite demoralising to my overall feeling. There's a lot of people that are not necessarily looking for love or relationships, so you can get in this cycle where you're talking the same conversations over and over, and it can be quite tedious. So if you are truly wanting to work on yourself, the best thing I can suggest is getting rid of those completely, because then you really are focusing on just what you want to do to make you happy. There are other ways of meeting people, and as things start opening up in the coming months, like, those things will be possible again. But use the time wisely to really get to know yourself and know where you want to go in your life. And my next point is that you really need to make time for you. This is a really obvious thing to say, but actually, how much time do you spend just having personal time? Like, how many times do you let yourself just sit in a bath for half an hour and read a book? Or how much time do you spend just sitting in your garden or sitting outside and just sitting, watching the world go by, or doing things that are personal care for you, like getting your hair done or doing spa treatments, things like that? Make time for you, because that's your opportunity to recharge and reboot. Another tip is to set goals for your future. So this is doesn't have to be relationship orientated. Like, to set a goal of meeting somebody is a possibility, but it's not one that's easily achievable. Set goals that are focusing on you and where you want to see yourself in the coming years. And then once you set your goals, set out your steps in how you're going to achieve that. If you break it down, it makes goals much more achievable. Another tip is to sleep and eat healthfully. Make sure you're getting the right amount of sleep for you, having the same wake up time, bedtime, having a good sleep routine, cutting the caffeine in the afternoon and evening. Make sure you're eating healthfully, getting everything that you need in your diet to keep you energised and focused. In connection with that is reducing your blue screen time. So there's apps that you can get on your phone that will cut the blueness on your screen, so that it gives your brain the chance to get the chemicals that it needs in its shutdown in the evening. If you can reduce your screen time as well, that will also help. Another tip is to keep exercising. This is really good for your mental health anyway, as well as your body. I think that is becoming much more apparent over the last year, that people are really seeing how exercise can be a real beneficial tool in your mental health, not just your physical health. It can really help lift your mood. As soon as you've completed the exercise, it doesn't sound like it would, but it absolutely does. And if you're not one for exercising in full intensity, you could do walks, you could do yoga. There's other different exercises that you could do that are not so exercisey, that are just more accessible if you want to keep active but do something a bit more on your level. And finally, the last thing that I would suggest is learning to love yourself. Have a good look in the mirror at yourself and acknowledge anything that you're not happy with, but also acknowledge that that is you and that's what makes you special. You've got to love yourself before others can love you. So you really need to be happy and content in your body and in your mind, and working on that is a really good way of feeling happy. If this is something that you struggle with, you could start off with like affirmations, so saying things that you're proud of or grateful for. So you could say what you're proud of doing that day. So like you could be proud of the fact that you have gone around the block and done some exercise, or a photography skill, anything really that you're really proud of that you have done. Have you been kinder today? Have you made more of an effort with your friends? Think about those kind of things and acknowledge the things that you have done. And similarly with gratitude, it's about saying what you're thankful for. That's a really good practice for improving happiness anyway, is thinking about all the small things that you are really grateful for. So are you really grateful that you've been able to have a good meal? Are you grateful that the sun shines today? Are you grateful that you've got clean air? Are you grateful for being able to access books? Are you grateful for your friends? All these kind of things are a really good way of showing gratitude, and it can help you spot the smallest of things in life. And I think if you can find happiness in little things, it helps build your overall happiness and your overall appreciation for things. I think my final thought is that nobody's perfect and nobody is going to fit a specific normality. You kind of have to make your normal, and if you're able to learn to love yourself and do lots of things that you enjoy, you'll find that you are much more content and more happy in being single, and it will help you shift your mindset. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video, or subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.